That's why I don't have expectations. That I had to teach myself to not have expectations of folks because, like I shared before, I met somebody one time who once told me the moment that you stop having expectations for me, like they're talking about this specifically, you'll stop being hurt by me. And I didn't understand because I'm like, I know you're capable of doing this. I've seen you do it before, blah, 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 blah. When in reality, it's like, no, you see me in a different space with different people. So I show up differently. So I took that and put that into my lifestyle. It wasn't just in friendships, relationships, companionships, whatever. It was about life. Like I have goals for myself, but I try not to have too many expectations for myself because then when I don't meet them, I feel like I let myself down. When I use a different approach and now whatever a person gives me, I'm thankful for because I didn't expect it from them.
That's true.
Like, and it's literally small things. Like, I would be thankful that somebody, like, for instance, your sister helped set up.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect for her to come and do that. You probably like, yeah, that's my sister, so she's gonna help because she's here, right?
I didn't expect it.
But I get in general.
Yeah.
But it's like, to me, it's like, wow, I'm so thankful because that person did not need to do that.
That's true. And I think that to what you're saying too, setting a goal versus having an expectation might be a little too detailed, in which it stops like the multitude of opportunities and the creativity of how the universe wants to bring it to you, and you'll end up expecting it to be brought to you a certain way, and when it's not, it's damaging. Versus, this is what I'm looking for as my overall end goal. However I get there is how I get there.
Exactly. And that's something I had to learn in life. But I feel like everybody has expectations of folks, positive or negatively, right? And then it's like when they're either met or not met, it's like for instance, like white folks got expectations of black people all the time and how they show up in the world. And then if somebody meets, it's like, oh, I expected that person to act that way. Or as if they don't act in whatever white America thinks that black folks should act like, it's like, oh, why? I didn't expect for you to be so educated. I didn't expect for you to be so well-mannered and well-spoken.
Yeah. Which is true, because I feel like I don't have much expectation for white people. Like, there's not much that they do that shocks me. I just be like, like, they do shit and I'll be like, that makes sense.
But I also think that's I'm about to be on one. I think that's a fucked up way of parenting too. Like, I think parents have these like unrealistic or whatever they want to call it. A good expectation for an unrealistic expectation is not. They're the same. Like, you can't be like, it's great for you to have expectations of your child to learn to read at the age of whatever 1 or 2, right? But then turn around and be like, but I expect my child to be a neuroscience, it's an expectation nonetheless. Like, and people who have high expectations of their children, there's a high number of mental health problems. There's a high number of suicide in college. There's as somebody who works in higher education, a lot of people are either dropping out, harming themselves, going into institutions, like mental institutions. And when we ask about how they got into those spaces, it's not because, oh, I had this expectation of myself to do this. It's I'm letting my parents down. My parents want me to become this scientist and I want to be a painter. Like, I can't meet this expectation of this person. So therefore now I want to harm myself because I'm so empty because I didn't meet their expectation, when in reality you didn't have your own for yourself or whatever. Like, you didn't have a goal for yourself. Your whole life has been, I feel like society has made us run on this rat race of expectations of the world. If you ain't got a degree, you ain't shit. That's expectation of society. If you don't make over 6 figures, you're going to be in poverty for the rest of your life. That's, you know what I mean? Like, there's all these things. If you're not married by 30 or don't have kids, like, it's all like, says who? Society? White supremacy? I'm confused.
As you said that, I thought to myself, that's super valid, because now when I think about it, I go like, okay, well, my expectations of other people is me trying to create who I think they should be, as opposed to them creating who they're going to be. And people, I think especially in that dynamic of like parent and kid that you brought up, like there's always going to be this battle because as you are creating who you think you should be, you're always going to measure it against their expectations, as opposed to just them not even being there, and you just get to create who you're going to be, and you're just like, oh yeah, like this seems fine.
This is just who you are. Like I had to stop having an expectation of my parents.
Who have an expectation of your parents as a whole?
Yeah, like I stopped having an expectation of my parents a couple years ago, and it's not that I don't love them anymore. I felt like I was being let down so much until I was having a conversation with my cousin, Dagum, who's
Shout
always
out to you,
Dada, who's always like my voice of reasoning. Like I was having all these conversations with her, like, oh, my mom's not doing this and that and this and that. And she was like, Cookie, you know that she's a human before she's a mother. She's a, you know what I mean? Like she is who she is before she was your mother. She had 30-something years of life before she even thought of you. Like, she got mood swings, she got attitude, she gets hungry, she gets hangry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she has all these things, and you have this expectation of this human that you're supposed to be perfect just because you birthed someone. Birthing someone does not all of a sudden give you a perfect card. And when she said that, I was like, well, damn. But when I see other people's parents, it's like, sweetheart, that's a betrayal.
honey.
People portray all type of shit. I'm like, damn. And then as soon as I stopped having an expectation, I really feel like the relationship I could say with my father has grown so much more.
True.
Because now I'm so thankful for everything that they do for me. Like, because you shouldn't have to do it just because you're my parent.
Yeah.
You could be making $60,000 a year and I'm expecting you for you to pay for me to go to college just because you're my parent. Like, that doesn't make sense.
True.
You barely survive it.
Especially the Bay Area.
Yeah, like